Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Zankichi, and I love Monster Hunter. It's a video game series that is near and dear to my heart, next to Mortal Kombat, of course. Every game bringing something new to the gameplay while refreshing what is already established. I never get tired of playing this game. And here's a fun fact. I have played every single Monster Hunter game released in the Western Hemisphere. I still remember the first time I played Monster Hunter. It happened when I was in middle school. I had a classmate and buddy that I got along with thanks to our love for video games until he says to me, "Hey, have you ever played Monster Hunter? It's a game made by Capcom." I knew Capcom at the time for making amazing games that I still have fond memories of to this day. I took my buddy's offer to play the game, and maker above, I was blown away by how backwards the control scheme was. I mean, seriously, they chose to use the right stick to attack instead of the 4 face buttons, they work just fine, but right stick instead, it's weird. Besides that, the game was fun to play. I tested out all the weapons, I explored each locale in detail, and of course, I fought monsters larger than life and made weapons and armor out of them. Love at first sight. Sadly, I wasn't able to finish the game since I had to give the game back to my buddy, but since then I have kept up with every release and played them to completion. Which brings me to Monster Hunter Wilds, the latest Monster Hunter game released in February 2025 as a follow-up to Monster Hunter World, which was the game that brought hunters to the new world. Now, before I get slammed in the comments, let me clarify that I am aware that Monster Hunter Rise exists. However, the creators mentioned and they insist that Wilds was the real sequel to Worlds and not Rise. I don't know, maybe it has to do with how the game is presented, but I digress. Now, Wilds is a fine game. It promises on the tradition of bringing something new to the gameplay, and it doesn't disappoint. However, there was something that actually did disappoint me, and I know this one's gonna be very, very weird, but it's how accessible it is. It's just, if you give me a moment, I'll explain myself. So let's just take a look at the gameplay and the game itself, and let's talk about this one, shall we? Let's start with the story, and for the first time, I am not gonna give a summary of it. Oh my goodness, it's starting weird already. Okay, let me explain. Now, there is a story in this game, and it isn't a bad one, but in all honesty, the story only serves to do one thing: to hunt down monsters. Monster Hunter, since day one of its existence, has been about hunting down monsters, whether small, large, or epic in scale, as a means to solve whatever conflict or calamity that the story has. Through its iterations, stories in Monster Hunter follow a certain formula. X village or villages have a monster problem and the hunters deal with it, but it's shown that these monsters have been acting strange or they're out of their usual habitat or routine, to then find out that a bigger monster is causing the problem and then the hunters take care of it. However, they then find out that the problems were not caused by the monster our characters just slayed, but an even bigger one is the real cause of the conflict, and guess what? We hunt it down and be celebrated as heroes. Wilds follows this formula as well, and it does a great job at it, as it not only gives us a reason to hunt monsters, but it also showcases the new region and its lore, the monsters and people that inhabit it, the natural phenomena that occur in this new land, and the things that are causing the conflict in the story. You know what, I do find it funny that there's this one village in the game where the people there, they do not know what weapons are. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think anyone in the Forbidden Lands know what weapons or hunters are, and there's a village that handles ore. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. So yes, the story's conflict is solved by hunting down the monsters in question, and in Monster Hunter Wilds, this doesn't change one bit. And I am all for it. Although it uses a familiar formula, it still brings a new story that is self-contained, easy to follow, and best of all, our character finally speaks. So, if you want to experience the story, then feel free to play through it or look it up. By the end of it, what matters is the hunt itself. the gameplay. Now, the gameplay in Monster Hunter Wilds also keeps up with the promise of bringing something new to keep things fresh. We still have 14 weapons to choose from, each having a unique style of hunting and a set of moves that has improved from the previous games. We have new locales or biomes, as others would call them, to explore to our heart's content, and we have brand new monsters to hunt along with returning favorites to make awesome weapons and armor out of them. Along these, a new gimmick was added, the wound mechanic. What this does is that if a hunter focuses on hitting the same spot on a monster, a wound will be made visible. From there, the hunter can unleash a focus attack, which every weapon can do, and can destroy the wound to deal additional damage and get extra monster parts. Lastly, we get a new mounting companion in the form of a sacred. Mounting companions are not exactly new, as they were introduced somewhat in Worlds and in Rise. However, in Wilds, our feathered mount can take us across the map in a swift fashion and sniff out our target no matter how far they are. This is always welcomed, as the biomes have grown larger over the years in Monster Hunter, and having a ride can definitely make things better for hunters. Truly, all these gameplay features make for fun and exciting sessions where you just want to keep going to get that part you need for that weapon or for that armor set. And I love everything that this game brings. Here is where I start talking about my disappointment though. Here's the thing, I played Monster Hunter in the olden days. Its relentless gameplay honed my survival skills. It taught me about the different locales and its differing ecosystems. It taught me where to gather materials and make sure I remember where I got them. And it taught me about monster ecology. What and where do they hunt? Where do they rest? When are they ready to capture? What makes them tick? I relished in the thrill of the hunt, and every monster that called itself the apex predator never made that mistake again when they met with me. Not anymore. In Monster Hunter Wilds, it has been made accessible to hunt anything, both small and large monsters. I no longer have to learn patterns, no longer need to learn which are the monster's usual spots. Not even the track gathering system that Monster Hunter Worlds brought makes a reappearance. The gathering spots and the monsters already show up in my map outright. The Sacred can pretty much take you to the target automatically, although you can turn this off if you want. And my Palico, and my map too, will tell me any status that the monster is, even when it's about to die. I mean, this sort of thing was already starting to show up in Monster Hunter World, but we had the tracking system in there. In Wilds, it's just there by default. Look, I understand. I know that not everyone enjoys hunting like I do. I know that for newcomers to the franchise, they would have been overwhelmed if Wilds was anything like the old games. And I know that even some people who have played the old games are more than happy to play Wilds the way it is now with all the quality of life changes that were implemented. Yes, I am one of these people because I know change is good for a game franchise if it wants to survive by appealing to a wider audience. However, the thrill of hunting that I grew up with is no longer there, and that makes me a little sad. The accessibility implemented in the series has changed Monster Hunter to a more social game where we can play together and share some really good moments, along with the challenges that monsters still bring to the table. Sure, we no longer need to memorize their daily lives, but monsters can still kick your ass if you're not prepared, and that part of the hunt certainly has gotten better over the years. So in essence, Monster Hunter Wilds is still a fun and exciting game, but it cuts out the other half and streamlined it, which is the half I miss the most. But regardless, I have so much fun with this game. I never get tired of it, and I still play it until this day. So, in my honest opinion, Monster Hunter Wilds is worth it. Whether you get it now or you get it on sale, or you play alone or with friends or with randoms around the world, you will get your worth in this game. And if you miss the old days, well, you can always pick it up and play it. Assuming you have a copy, of course. But in the meantime, that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a good day. This was one of those games that it was multiplayer, and it was online multiplayer. Too bad that the servers shut down the day after because they were overloaded. Oh, look at these. They are ill-prepared. Look at this. Just basic iron equipment against the king of the skies. Rathalos, are you nuts? My beautiful Rose created. Look at her. It's, oh. Oh my goodness. Well, here we go. All right, so here we go. We're gonna find raw meat. And, oof. Yes, and we got some wisdom from the village chief, the hero of Kokoto. We don't need to listen. Oh, wait. That, you know what? That was in me instinctually pulling the right stick to move the camera. And I forgot that the right stick is not the camera. So, let's do some basic attacks here with my sword and shield. Oh my god, it's so slow! Oh, oh my goodness! Look at that! Oh my lord, this takes forever. Anyways, yeah, we just continue on, and we just talk to the village chief, preparing the meat. Oh, this is very important. Searching for items. God, combining items, fishing. Ah! All right, so I'm gonna learn, a really important skill that we had to learn, that we had to master in Monster Hunter. It was cooking a well-done steak. Now we nowadays have a spit or a portable barbecue that we can cook amazing meals on them. Steak with eggs and honey or whatever the game provides us. But back then, that barbecue spit was just for one thing and one thing only: making meat. So let's do this. Oh yeah, baby, I still got it. You cannot take that skill away from me. I always make amazing steaks, baby. Let's do another one just for the heck of it. Let's do this. See these? You see these right there? A very odd looking plant sticking out above among the rest. Well, you can gather that. What? What? You can keep going too. Oh man, welcome to the olden days, where you have to be very perceptive when you have to search for items. There's nothing else here, and when it says that there's nothing else, believe it. There's nothing else, and it won't disappear. Okay, now here's important skill number 2, a very important skill that we had to not only master outside in the village. No, we also had to master this one in the heat of combat itself. And that, my friends, is alchemy. Now, pretty simple. You just go to combine here in your menu. Yeah, I already have a couple items I'm going to combine. So, you had to have the knowledge of what you needed to do, right? But here in my old Master Hunter sense, I still remember a few things. Now, if we combine the spider web with the ivy, we create a net. Nice. Now, what is the net for? Well, we nowadays use it for just pitfall traps, but back then, we also had to hunt down for bugs, collecting bugs. And we needed nets with mystery bone, if I recall, and we can make bug nets, which can break easily. And here's another thing. Nowadays, where an herb is enough to make a potion, not this time. Back in the olden days, you needed herbs and a blue mushroom to create a potion. Beautiful. And now, that was a skill that we had to learn. We also had to carry all the stuff that we needed to make combinations, just in case if we ran out, because hunts were brutal back in the day. Now, another skill that had to be mastered it was more of an optional, but same time, if you mastered this skill, you would have been a pro at this game. Essentially, that's what I did, and which is fishing. Now, fishing, it's one of the least favorable things that we do in Monster Hunter nowadays. So much so that we've forgotten about the art of fishing. But fishing has its benefits, as in the olden days, the fish were very, very useful. Not just for eating, but also for sharpening your sword and for creating devastating ammunition that will decimate monsters. Anyways, let's go ahead and have a bit of a relaxing time catching us some fish. Important skill number 4. These little bastards. These are melinks. You know, nowadays we got cute cat companions, but back then, these little thieves will take your stuff away into their hideout, and sometimes they would even take your very important potions. Now these little whack jobs, they need. Hey, give me my map! You gotta beat them up. You have to beat them up in order for you to get your stuff back, because otherwise, my potions! Hey! Give me my potion back! They're not gonna die. I promise. They're alive and they're fine. But, yeah. You can grab your stuff later. Oh, sheesh. Okay.